going, everybody? It's your boy Universal Veteran here again with another video, and I thought I would give you guys a little bit of an update about how life is going and what's to come in the future for 2026. This will probably be my last video of 2025 just because it is a week before Christmas and I tend to make these videos sporadically throughout the year. So outside of my normal content that I produce, like my shorts or my community posts, this will probably be the last one for the year. I feel like 2025 has been a very eventful year for me. By comparison to the last, I would say 5 years, if not longer. This is by far the most eventful year that I've had. It's been tremendously beneficial for not only my mental health, my job security, my financial perspective, my happiness, my son's happiness, his mental health, my girlfriend's, her son. I feel like in every aspect that could be quantified, it has been a pretty beneficial year. Now, I'm not saying that things can't change, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I kind of want to reflect a little bit about how 2025 has treated me and where we have come since January. So, in the beginning of this year, I was still living in Iowa. It was just me and my son, and me and my girlfriend were a year into our relationship. The idea of us potentially moving in together was starting to float around, just because we were considering moving after my son got out of school. So since it was still early in the year, we were kind of in the beginning phases of talking about and discussing whether or not that was going to happen or not. I wasn't really on medication. I was taking my ADHD medication at that time, but I don't believe I was on any anxiety medication at that time. So how I was feeling and my anxiety and whatnot was definitely higher than what it would have been. I was thinking a lot more negatively about my prospects of my life, and in turn I was taking that frustration, and any time that me and my girlfriend would have not necessarily an argument, but just a disagreement, I was taking that as an attack on myself, so it would lead to further complications. So there was tension there that definitely didn't need to be there because of my issues in my head at that time. Thankfully, she convinced me to get on anxiety medication as well. So after getting on Lexapro, which is what I'm currently on top of the ADHD medication, it has definitely significantly improved my ability to socialize and be in larger crowds. And I think that's just another aspect would probably be the exposure therapy, since she tends to go out and hang out with family more, and I never did that when I was living alone. So on top of the medication and going out to events and going into big crowded areas, that was definitely helping my confidence level and my ability to remain calm under stressful situations. So I got on medication, and pretty much from January all the way until June, nothing really of significance changed. The ramping up of me moving to Minnesota started to begin in earnest, starting in, I would believe, March. The preparation phases of moving a car's load worth to her house every weekend was ongoing all the way up until June, up until we moved, and I pretty much had everything there. But in terms of like things going on outside of my miniature painting, there wasn't really any progress or change in any way. The change really started to happen once I moved to Minnesota, and I pretty much had the entire summer off. During that time, I could have been outside a little bit more, or probably a lot more, and I could have done more to enjoy the summer that I did, or that I could have. I can't cry over spilled milk and say I'm not gonna pretend like it was an amazing summer. It was fun, but I was still, new place, new area. My instincts are to hide away in my goblin cave when things get stressful. So I noticed that I was doing that a lot more during the summer when I was just not working. So I would spend a lot of my time inside playing video games or miniature painting. But as time progressed and the months went on, we slowly got out to do more and more and more. We went kayaking a shit ton this year by comparison to the year before. I believe we went to, I can't give an accurate number because I don't really know the exact number, but we probably went to at least a dozen different lakes, and probably 2 times that amount going to the same lake. Kayaked, fish. I would drop her off to go kayaking, so she probably spent more time in the kayak than I did this year. I've come to realize that I enjoy the hobby, and I love doing the hobby with her. I love kayak fishing. Kayaking, not so much. I'm not big on just paddling around and going around in a circle on a big lake, but I do enjoy the aspect of sitting there, listening to my audiobook while I'm on the water and just kind of being in nature and fishing. I enjoy that, especially when I'm catching fish. I feel like I have the most fun. When me and my son would go kayaking, it was a little bit more stressful just because he is not too open to the idea of kayaking, but I'm hoping as the years go on, we can warm his ass up to the idea of doing it, and actually getting him on the lake and actually, kayaking by himself, so we're not always on the tandem kayak. So we did that throughout the summer. I painted a shit ton of miniatures. Overall, I think the beginning part of me moving to Minnesota was a little bit more stressful for me, in terms of my, just getting familiar with the area and getting used to the new environment. But by the end, until I started working again, it got easier. So we went to a bunch of family events, parties, whatnot. We went to a water park for her son's birthday, which was fun. Had my birthday, Halloween, Thanksgiving. Me and my girlfriend spent Thanksgiving together. And now that I've gotten a job, I've gotten used to the job that I'm working at. It's gotten tremendously easy. Well, I can't say that. This is probably the most physically demanding truck driving job that I've ever had. Especially during the holidays. Last week was fucking brutal. So for those who don't know, I deliver meat all around the Twin Cities, and I have to two-wheel a dolly. I have to dolly the meat from the pallet from my trailer into the coolers or into the freezers inside a lot of the meat markets. So I am doing a lot of physical labor. Last week was fucking intense, just because of the sheer volume of hams that these places were ordering. One place that I went to literally ordered 120, or I think it was 112 boxes of ham and pork loins, pork tender, beef, chuck, all of that. It was, and this shit's heavy, like 3,000 pounds worth of meat that I'm doing by hand. And I've noticed that my muscle growth has definitely gone up to the roof. I'm definitely right now more muscular than even when I was going to the gym. And I can tell based on the fact that when I have to pick my girlfriend up, since she's in a wheelchair, I have to pick her up and transfer her to the bed or whatnot. Like, it's not an issue anymore. I was able to curl a 55-pound dumbbell at Walmart, which is the highest that I've ever been able to do. 50-pound dumbbell was my max when I was working out and going to the gym frequently. So the fact that I'm able to do 55 pounds is a testament to how muscular I've gotten. Though you really wouldn't see it too much because I have gained weight. The weight loss journey stopped after I moved to Minnesota. I ended my weight loss journey at 219 pounds. Not quite the 200 that I was hoping for before moving to Minnesota, but we got close. And from June until now, I went up, got almost to 240 pounds with about a month and a half ago. But I've now since dropped down to 232. That's by part due to the fact that I stopped eating fucking donuts at work, and the fact that I've been working my ass off the last month. It should be relatively easy today, but for next week until the end of the year, it's going to be hectic still. So in terms of my physical fitness and my wellness, I'm drinking Monster, sugar-free, and regular Monster on occasion. So in that aspect, that's not that good. Alcohol consumption has occurred every 2 weeks, sometimes once a week, but normally it's just a beer. The last time I drank anything of liquor was some eggnog about 3 weeks ago. But for the most part, when I do drink, it is one beer, and it's usually like a Four Loko. So those are my vices right now: the occasional drinking and the Monster. I'm still not using tobacco of any kind, and thankfully I'm not drinking heavy liquor every week like I used to. As of right now, how things are going, financially, things are going good. I've gotten into a pretty good mindset, pretty good headspace about saving money. I do occasionally splurge on my miniatures, tools, new boxes and whatnot, and I need to cut down on that. But at the same time, with this job, I'm saving almost half of my paychecks per week into savings. So that alone is working really well. Mental health wise, right now, I am doing pretty well. I've gotten into a pretty good routine. My son has started therapy like 3 months ago. Me and my girlfriend got into couples therapy, not because we thought that anything was going wrong between us, but there was some disagreements that we couldn't really resolve, so we decided to, get some outside perspective help, just because I feel like having therapy is important and it's a good thing to have for couples, because we're never, I don't have a negative mindset about therapy in any way, and I only see it as a benefit, and a benefit for me and her to get closer. But I don't want people to think that my relationship is falling apart or anything. No, nothing like that's happening. It's just we decided to get into it. We're decided to get couples therapy to work on a few things that we couldn't come to terms with each other and resolve. So in that aspect, we've been doing it for about a month now, and I think it's going really well. What else? My son's doing good at school. He's gotten on ADHD medication as well, and that's helped him tremendously. Now it's just pretty much buying Christmas gifts. Too many fucking Christmas gifts we've bought. So waiting beginning of the year. Starting 2026 on a new footing. Hopefully everything goes good in 2026. I can't predict how my health or whatnot's gonna happen, but I feel like it's gonna be a good year, and we're starting the new year on a pretty good foundation. So I just wanted to update you guys. I didn't mean to make this a 15-minute video, but I felt like it was important to give you guys an update about my life and whatnot. If not for my YouTube audience, but for my son, for when he sees my YouTube channel in the future. So if you guys did like this video, drop a like down below, subscribe as always, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out as always, guys, and have a nice night.